A long time ago, I once posted a video about me solving a Rubik's Cube, and now I've actually learned how to solve this one, which is called the Megaminx, which I think is such a fun name. It's a lot more fun than Rubik's Cube, and I guess Rubik's dodecahedron wasn't really as nice to pronounce. So this is the Megaminx, and I'm going to show you how I solve it. But of course, to solve it, we first have to scramble it. So let's do that. So now that we have the Megaminx all scrambled, it's time to solve it. So and now we have the white star at the bottom, and we're gonna move on to make the whole surface the white corners with their correct placements amongst these colors. So now we've solved the first layer, and that one's quite easy if you know how to solve a Rubik's Cube, because it's basically, you know, the same logic. Before you start solving this one, I do recommend you learn how to solve a Rubik's Cube first, because it's kind of like a motor memory that you have. There are specific algorithms you need to solve the cube, but those algorithms also become, you know, like motor memory. So that's how people are able to speed solve the cubes. So yeah, let's move on to the second layer. And for the second layer, what we need to do is move the pieces that are here or here to this piece. And there's a specific algorithm for that I've memorized, and I'll show you. So as you can see, now this is the second layer solved, and it's looking pretty good already, right? It's once you learn to do it, it's quite fun, and it's kind of relaxing to fiddle with your hands, but also visually see something fun happening. All right, now we get to what to me is kind of the trickiest layer that I don't actually use algorithms for, because I only have so much memory available for one of these things. So I just kind of use my own method. So now we need to place these little corner pieces, and we already know the algorithm for that. So those are going to be easy. It's a top layer that's going to be pretty intense, but we'll get to that. So the first thing you want to do is create the gray cross here. Then you want to position these gray sides correctly. Then we want to position these correctly and then turn them correctly. So those are a couple of steps that we need to follow, and I have memorized the precise algorithms for that, because it'll mess up your whole cube if you don't do that right. So now we have the gray cross. Let's continue to position the pieces correctly. As you can see, this one is not right. But luckily, these two are already positioned correctly, so we just need to rotate these in a clockwise pattern. It's also possible to rotate them counterclockwise, which would get me there sooner. But I've only memorized the clockwise one, so I'll just stick with what I know. So now we've got all the sides oriented correctly, which means we just need to focus on the corners. As you can see, none of them are actually positioned correctly. So we're going to start with rotating them to get them in their right position. So we just have 2 more steps to go. We're almost there. Okay, we are ready for the final step, which is to rotate the corners, and that's the most exciting one. So what you do is you want to only move the top layer. So you want to hold this kind of between thumb and index finger and just kind of hold it in place. Because if you start messing up with like the rotation this way, it's going to be bad. So what you want to do is position the corner that you want to rotate in place here. And then you once it's placed correctly, then you want to rotate only the top layer clockwise. And the rotation we're going to do, which is the algorithm, is to rotate this one counterclockwise and this bottom one counterclockwise, and then this one clockwise, this one clockwise. And we're going to keep doing that and doing that until magically or algorithmically everything slides into place. So let's do it. There it is. We did it.